Today is March 3rd, 2021. My name is Charles Suter. Today I'm presenting part 3 of my Facts or Opinions series. This one is titled Fighting Fair. My main message here is that arguments are best won with logic and evidence. This is what I call fighting fair. The only fair way for your personal opinions to prevail in the marketplace of ideas is to support them with better logic, facts, and evidence. Claims, suppositions, and conclusions supported by facts and evidence is the way arguments are settled in the court system, and that's still the best way to handle public social disagreements when arguing over the correctness of opinions. This presentation will discuss 4 dirty fighting tactics that people with a weak case, one with unsubstantiated opinions and without evidence or logical reasons, often use to win a debate. These dirty fighting techniques are often successful in persuading the gullible, especially those who either have not formed an independent opinion of their own or have only formed a tentative opinion and are still open to persuasion. It seems that people will readily believe opinions that are self-serving, if for no other reason than they want it to be true, even when there are counterfactual evidence against it. People who are all too willing to believe unsupported opinions will grasp at whatever rationalizations they can to convince themselves. Dirty fighting tactic 1, labels. If you're going to fight dirty, then refer to both the opposition and their position in a negative context. Summarize the opposition and their case with a single negative-laden word. When one doesn't have a supportable opinion, one dirty fighting tactic is to create a negative label and attach it directly to the opposition's opinion. Attaching negative and disparaging labels to the opinions of others, such as, here's some examples: fake news, bleeding heart Democrats, hard-hearted Republicans, tend to frame the narrative not on facts, but on name-calling. Similarly, one's own opinion must be given a positive, heroic label that imbues it with moral correctness, if for no other reason than it might convince others who want that particular opinion to be true. In the mind of the dirty fighter, the more heinous the label they give to their opposition, and the more positive a label they give to their own, the more persuasive their opinion appears in comparison. Dirty fighting tactic number 2, denial. Always proclaim your innocence even if you're the slightest bit guilty. Feign indignation and continue to deny accusations of wrongdoing. Deny. By denying the validity of the other side's claim and evidence, even without presenting any counter-evidence, the dirty fighter is intending to build support for their case by acting as the malign victim who is being oppressed due to the lack of evidence. Emphatic denial is supposedly persuasive when the person with the weaker case is unwavering in their defiance, acting as the underdog in the debate and struggling to overcome the preponderance of the evidence. Dirty fighting tactic number 3, character assassination. Accuse the opposition of evil intentions and bad character. Suggest the other side's opinions stems from an unsavory, unreputable source. If the opposition's evidence is hard to beat, then the dirty fighter attacks the opposition personally. The attack begins by pointing out any real or imagined character flaws of the person making the counter-argument, suggesting that the opinions of anyone with such a flawed character should not be given credence, and their opinions are not worthy of being taken seriously. Claiming character flaws in the opposition becomes prima facie evidence that their opinions are likewise flawed. Dirty fighting tactic 4, unsubstantiated claims and assertions. Fabricate unsubstantiated facts and claim them to be true. Especially when I do this if you don't have any facts of your own. Continually repeat unsubstantiated assertions, only use different words and phrases. Anyone can claim an opinion, argue that their assertions are true, and get away with it so long as no one challenges them on their unsubstantiated claims. When an unsubstantiated claim is challenged, then the dirty fighting tactic is to ignore the demand for evidence and just continually repeat the claim more often and louder. The more ardent and strident an unsubstantiated claim is made, the more likely others will be persuaded that any idea that refuses to die must be true. Repetition builds belief, regardless of the evidence for or against. My final message here is that persuaders fight fair with logic and evidence. People who lack logical inferences and evidence to support their opinions have only one option left in the debate. They must fight dirty and hope others will not notice. If you are a rational and logical thinker, able to keep an open mind and judge arguments by their merits, then persuasive trickery will have no effect in changing your own opinions. You must argue your own opinions, then do so with logical inferences and backed with substantiating evidence. The more the better. More importantly, you must firmly point out every dirty fighting tactic being used against you and demand the opposition present their evidence and facts. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.